Berlin Percussion is the flagship orchestral percussion collection of the Berlin series. It includes a complete set of standard orchestral percussion instruments with all kinds of drums, cymbals, mallets, small percussion, and timpani. And when we say complete, we mean it. 26 instrument groups of pitched and unpitched instruments that give you everything but the kitchen sink in terms of orchestral percussion. In this first video, we're going to focus on the drum instruments of this collection. Let's start with the orchestral bass drum. We have 4 different sizes here at our disposal. Let's take a listen. There are several things to notice here. First of all, the mapping and the recorded articulations are consistent throughout the whole collection, as far as possible, at least as long as it makes sense. So you can easily try different bass drums by simply swapping your MIDI part around or loading a different drum within the SINE player. Due to technical reasons like dynamic layers and round-robin management, the different types of articulations like single hits or dynamic rolls are set up in different articulations. They are mapped to a different set of keys, however, so if you like, you can assign those articulations to the same MIDI channel and play them from the same track without the need for key switching. The mapping is also consistent throughout all non-pitched instruments of Berlin Percussion. Single hits, for example, are always on C2, and the standard CC controlled rolls are always on C3. Then on D3, there's also a roll, but this time with an accent on the release of the note. Higher up the keyboard, you'll find the up beats. Additional instrument-specific articulations are on other keys. For example, on the bass drum, we have a damped hit on F2 and rod hits down on C1. Very important for orchestral percussion are the dynamic rolls, and you get a nice selection here. We have crescendos, swells, and diminuendos, all in different lengths and dynamic layers. Let's continue with the snare drums. Berlin Percussion offers a wide range of different instruments and colors here. One of the highlights is the majestic snare drum, which has an opulent 4 different snare sets attached to it. You can turn these on and off individually. We chose actually 4 different settings for this drum. Mapping-wise, you get single hits on C2 and D2. Rim shots are on E2, and we have short ricochet bounces on A2. All the snares have 4 different rolls. As with the bass drum, we have a standard roll with and without accent at the end. And the snares also have double-stroke rolls, again, with and without accents. This is a different drum stroke technique, which sounds quite different to a standard roll. Then once again, you have the upbeats on the higher keys and the same dynamic set of performances as with the bass drums. The other snare drums have the same set of articulations and two different setups, with snares either on or off, with one exception. You can't turn off the snares for the Baszler drum. All the instruments of Berlin Percussion were recorded in situ on the Teldec scoring stage. We chose slightly different positions for each snare drum so that everything sits nicely in your mix. And just like the rest of the Berlin series, you get a range of mic options to work with. Let's listen to the Dresden snare, one of the more rare instruments in this collection, which has a very nice dark, warm sound. We'll hear the basic sound first and then illustrate the different microphone positions we have at our disposal. So in that example, you heard only the main decatry. Orchestral Tools uses a standard setup of microphones for all orchestral recordings at Teldex, which provides perfect balance and compatibility with the other collections of the Berlin series, and also completely different collections like the Metropolis Arc or Time series. So we have the decatry, a pair of AB mics above the tree, and a pair of very wide and far place mics for the rear channels of your surround setup. Those are the room mics. They sound quite far away from the source for a wetter sound. Percussion instruments are usually placed behind the orchestra, and so they're quite far away from the main room mics. To give you the option of still having a nice room microphone but being closer to the instruments, we have this close AB setup here in Berlin Percussion. You can use this one together with the main mics to get some more direct signal into your mix, or if you want your percussion section to appear at the front of the stage, you can use them as your main mic. Obviously, we also have spot mics placed right by the instruments for a very close sound. Let's listen to the other drums of Berlin Percussion. You get a set of 4 concert toms. As you probably heard, those toms can be played not only with drumsticks, but also with timpani mallets. Next up, we have a set of 6 rototoms. For the bongos and congas, we recorded a number of different strokes and playing positions, so you have enough detail to create authentic performances. And finally, we also have a pair of timbales.